Doctor Who Season 2, Episodes 36 to 39, titled The Time Meddler. Now, this is the final story of Season 2. It is the proper introduction of Steven Tyler. We met him in the final episode, the final part of The Chase. But it was one of those, like, no muscle to sample size to give us a proper sense of what his personality is. But with this, with the Time Meddler, I'm like, he's just a younger Ian. He's a younger Ian, because I feel some chemistry going on here. Like, it feels like they want to have the couple in the TARDIS, or they're planning of, like, if one leaves, the other one, when one wants to go, both of them will go, or something, and we'll have a story about them leaving because they're in love and they want to have a future together. Kind of like Susan, but you have, like, the couple want to leave thing. And I'm like, okay, all way I'm feeling this. But I'm like, personality-wise, it's kind of like what Ian did back in The Unearthly Child, which is saying, wait, you're a time traveler? No, stop this nonsense. I can wrap my brain about the whole big on the inside, but no, traveling time, nah. And the Doctor's like, let me prove this to you, young man. And boop, and we're now in the Viking era. And at the beginning, I was like, okay, this is probably more likely going to be like the Romans, where we go back in time, and knowing that the show was originally meant to be like the Massive Store Bus, but with time travel, where you have the Doctor traveling to different people, going to different parts of history, different areas of history for kids, right? Because originally it was meant to be like an educational show. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be about the Viking era, and we're going to have 4 episodes of basically Stephen, Vicky, and the Doctor in Viking situations, and so the kids at the time could learn what that era was like. I'm like, okay, cool. I might like this. I'm like, I enjoy the Romans. So I'm like, I'm watching this, and it had some promise for it. And then you got this monk character who's our villain. And he's just uninteresting. So his whole thing is he's a time traveler. He's also a time traveler. Note to self, Time Lords and Gallifreys and Masters and all that, because has not yet been invented. Has not been invented at this point. So we got the time, who's a time meddler, but his whole thing is he likes to it's the classic. If you could stop World War II, could you? If you could stop this major terrorist attack, could you? If you were able to travel through time and warn people and that type of thing. And that's his whole thing. And I'm like, and the Doctor's going to lecture about, time cannot be rewritten, even though we know his future self is going to rewrite time a lot, rewrite history a lot. But, the Doctor's all about time can, has a flux, and we should just look but don't watch. We will look but don't touch. Best way, look but don't watch, that's the same definition. And I'm like, okay, fine, cool. But it just goes on, and then but the story keeps happening, and this is uninteresting. The monks aren't uninteresting. I thought, the monk was just a simple, I found a time machine, so I entered the time machine, played around with the TARDIS, and I just grabbed things left, right, and center. And the Doctor's like, no. No. My time machine, get lost and piss off. And that's essentially what I thought it would naturally be. Because this is a 4-part story. I was like, this could easily be 2. 2, maybe even 3 tops. Because you could easily have episode 1, the Doctor, and then episode 2 is the Doctor gets captured. We find out, he's the guy who has all the monk is a time muggler. And then the Doctor, Vicky, and Stephen just back into the TARDIS and onto season 3. I mean, wherever that first episode, first story, season 3 was, because it's going. There's gonna be a 1 hour jump we are going to be when it comes to season 3, it's going to start with the arc, which is episode 15, which is a big giant leap. But yeah, I mean, all these other stories about the Vikings and I think what it is because it's not connected to our main characters. It comes to point as a bit of why is it here? Why is it there? It feels very just filling up time and just having stuff there for the sake of it and sense of it. But you know, even for like 1965 standards, you're like, yeah, okay, maybe in 1965. That, you know, a simple, you know, your main character's captured, other characters are getting, you know, chased around. Which I also was a little bit worried that this was going to be just a remake of the Romans. The moment the moment Steven and Vicky got captured, I'm like, oh god, we're gonna have the Romans again, aren't we? Like, yeah, if they're gonna be if Steven becomes a slave, I'll be like, I swear to God, you just retype the script and just change like the first like 5 pages because it's so similar. But it isn't. It's different. It's just uninteresting. That's what it is. It's just not interesting of a story to keep me engaged, really. And it's a shame because, you know, you want the final story of the show to be pretty good and really solid and really well put. But yeah.